Hi everyone, welcome to Difference Frames the World, a channel that offers you a unique perspective. Please subscribe and turn on the notifications so you will not miss our videos every day. Today, let's talk about something big that's happening in China, a serious shakeup at the very top of China's military. Since President Xi Jinping took the reins in 2012, 21 of the most powerful generals in the country, including those handpicked by Xi Jinping himself, have suddenly disappeared, been removed from their posts, or expelled from the Communist Party. The Chinese government says it's all about cracking down on corruption. But is that the whole story, or is something deeper going on? On October 17, 2025, the Chinese Ministry of National Defense announced the purge of 9 top generals unexpectedly, just 3 days before the 20th Central Committee's 4th plenary session, which is the biggest we've seen in decades since Chairman Mao's death. According to the announcement, at least 9 top generals, including He Weidong, a vice chairman of the most powerful Central Military Commission, were removed or expelled. He Weidong wasn't just any general. He was a Politburo member and second in command of the entire military. That's like the vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs in the U.S. Army suddenly vanishing. Other high-ranking officers from China's rocket force, the Navy, and even the armed police were also caught up in the purge. And here's the thing. Many of these people were promoted by President Xi Jinping himself just a few years ago. So why is he suddenly turning on his own generals? According to the Chinese government, this is all about rooting out corruption. They say these generals were taking bribes, misusing military funds, and cutting shady deals, especially when it came to equipment procurement. Now, corruption in China's military isn't new. For years, there have been problems with embezzlement, kickbacks, and inflated contracts. It's been a problem going back to the days before Xi Jinping came to power. So on the surface, this sounds like another anti-corruption campaign. But the scale and timing of this purge and the level of the people involved tell us there's a lot more going on. Xi Jinping has been in power for 13 years. From the start, he made it clear that he wanted a loyal, modern, and battle-ready military. He's called the military the backbone of the party's rule, and he's made himself the commander-in-chief not just on paper, but in reality. Xi chairs the Central Military Commission, which gives him direct control over the armed forces. But to truly control the military, he needs more than titles. He needs absolute loyalty. And that's where the purge comes in. While corruption may be part of the story, the bigger motive is likely political control. Xi wants to make sure that the people at the top of the military are not only competent, but also 100% loyal to him personally. If there's even a whiff of disloyalty, or if someone builds their own network of influence, they're done and should be gone. One of the most surprising parts of the purge is how hard it hit the rocket force, the branch in charge of China's most powerful weapons, including its nuclear arsenal and long-range missiles. 2 top commanders from the rocket force were removed, and one even reportedly died under suspicious circumstances. The force's leadership was then replaced by people from outside, including a former Navy officer and an Air Force general. That's highly unusual and suggests a real lack of trust within the rocket force itself. Some analysts believe this could mean there were major problems with how the force was being run, including poor management, misused funds, or even risks to command and control systems. Others say Xi Jinping didn't trust the insiders anymore and wanted to start fresh with people more loyal to him. It isn't the first time Xi has taken a broom to the military. Back in the mid-2000s, 2 of China's top generals, Xu Kaihu and Guo Boxiong, were removed for corruption. They were giants in the military and had served under Xi Jinping's predecessors, Jiang Zemin and Hu Jintao. That earlier wave of purges helped Xi Jinping clear out the old guard and install his own people. But now, almost 10 years later, he's removing his own picks. That tells us 2 things. These generals have turned corrupt fast, or Xi Jinping is still not satisfied with the level of loyalty and control he has. Either way, it shows just how unstable and fragile elite politics in China can be, even at the very top. It is noteworthy that, regretfully, most of the 9 top generals ousted this time were handpicked by President Xi Jinping. To fill the vacant positions, he has to handpick a bunch of fresh heads who are supposedly more loyal to him and the party. Some anti-China channels hailed the purge, saying President Xi Jinping is losing power and will possibly leave his command-in-chief position after the fourth plenary session of the party's 20th Central Committee. We do not comment on things that have not happened, and we do not want to spread rumors either. Whether President Xi Jinping strengthens his grip on power or loses control, the purge of these corrupted generals is a must. Corruption in the military is a global issue, including in the United States, where U.S. generals have been known to spend excessive amounts on basic items. The Cockerham bribery case exposed a major scandal involving U.S. Army contracting officers who accepted millions in bribes during the Iraq War. Led by Major John L. Cockerham, the scheme included his wife, sister, and other military officials. The investigation was triggered by Major Gloria Davis's admission of taking bribes, followed by her tragic suicide in 2006. Evidence linked Cockerham to over $30 million in expected kickbacks. Several co-conspirators were also arrested. The scandal revealed serious flaws in wartime contracting oversight, with billions awarded to corrupt companies. Dozens were convicted, millions were seized, and over 120 individuals or companies were banned from government contracts, making this one of the largest military corruption scandals in U.S. history. Corrupted Chinese generals have increasingly overstepped their bounds. One notable example is Gu Zhenshan, a lieutenant general in China's People's Liberation Army. He served as the deputy director of the Chinese Army's General Logistics Department for about 3 years until his removal in 2012. After his arrest, it was said that the money seized from his home filled 4 large trucks. In addition to the cash, they found numerous antiques, treasures, real estate, and cars. A rough estimate places the total value of these assets at approximately 30 billion yuan, equivalent to over $4 billion US dollars, a staggering sum. For a long time, many analysts, both inside and outside China, have argued that President Xi Jinping's anti-corruption campaign serves both a disciplinary purpose and a political one. This time, it seems that his anti-corruption campaign is not only aimed at purging officials from other cliques or political families, such as the Youth League represented by his predecessor Hu Jintao. Instead, it demonstrates his zero tolerance for corruption within government agencies and military branches. Of course, when he removes so many top officers all at once, he creates gaps in leadership, which can lead to confusion, delays in decision-making, and poor morale. It is especially true with the rocket force that deals with nuclear weapons. Some analysts worry that the instability the recent purge implied might push China to act more aggressively. For example, in the Taiwan Strait, to distract from internal issues or to demonstrate strength. Others say it could make China more cautious since a disrupted chain of command makes it harder to carry out military operations. We do not believe the purge will advance or delay China's reunification with Taiwan. China has 2 million soldiers and hundreds of generals, so the removal of 9 corrupt top generals is not as significant as many anticipate. If Taiwan's leader dares to declare independence, Beijing can start a recovery of the island by force within an hour, if not in a minute. Ousting several corrupted generals will strengthen the Chinese army instead of weakening it. In the past 3 years, people, particularly some anti-China elements, have been linking Chinese President Xi Jinping with the Ming Dynasty's last emperor, Chongzhen, warning that even the most powerful emperor can't save a system that is already falling apart, no matter how hard he works or how ruthless he becomes. We disagree with such allegations. Today's China is not yesterday's Ming Dynasty, and President Xi Jinping will not be the last leader of the Chinese Communist Party. I want to compare Xi Jinping to Yongzheng, an emperor of the Qing Dynasty. Yongzheng ruled China for only 13 years and is considered one of the hardest-working, no-nonsense, and politically astute emperors in Chinese history. He was the son of the well-known Kangxi Emperor, who recovered Taiwan, and the father of the even more prominent Qianlong Emperor, who played a critical role in shaping today's Xinjiang, both politically and culturally. Without Yongzheng, the Qing dynasty would not have achieved the pinnacle of imperial China, known as the Golden Age. This period lasted nearly 140 years and was characterized by strong leadership, territorial expansion, population growth, cultural flourishing, and relative peace. Both Yang Zheng and Xi Jinping are seen as cleanup rulers, leaders who came into power after a period of looseness and corruption and tried to bring back discipline and central authority. Both of them see stability, discipline, and loyalty as the most important things for preserving their system, the imperial dynasty or the Communist Party. As we said many times, it is too early to predict China's collapse, and China still has 100 or 200 years of success ahead of it. Whether Xi Jinping continues to rule China or steps down for any reason in the future, it does not change the fact that he is a great leader and has elevated China to a new level.